Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Today on Headline Highlights, imagine someone you call your best friend, someone you trust with everything, accused of being your killer, and an online gaming friendship turned deadly.
We are also diving into the headlines surrounding Nancy Guthrie and the latest ransom update. This is Headline Highlights. Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode number 21 of Stop Who Does That? Headline Highlights for February 9th. We have a full show for you today. On today's show, we have alleged best friend forever killer Megan Sundwell, an online gaming friendship turned deadly, and our take on Nancy Guthrie, as well as ending Headline Highlights, as always, with Florida Man Google Roulette. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Jackie.
And we hope all of our listeners had a great weekend and enjoyed watching the Super Bowl last night, which is what I did with the kids. And we tried to stay inside as much as possible because it has been freakishly cold again here in Pennsylvania, like negative 20. It's like beyond
With the wind
Alaska.
chill.
It's like
Yeah.
Antarctica at this point. It's so bad. And I also want to take a moment to wish Jackie a very happy birthday tomorrow. It's her birthday. If everyone could join us in wishing her a happy birthday and leave us some birthday messages for her too. How was your weekend, Jackie?
Well, I went out on Saturday with my friends. We celebrated my birthday and we had a nice big sushi dinner. And then we went out for karaoke and had a freaking blast.
It was fun.
There's nothing that makes me more happy than giving my friends an opportunity to get out. I mean, we're at the age now,
Yep.
like we have kids and responsibilities. And I think we're always waiting for some reason to go out and party, but no one ever wants to be the one to invite anyone. So I always use my birthday as a chance to do that. And it was just so fun to see how everyone let loose. I mean, we were taking pictures galore like it was 2009 again. And some of the photos I have are just hilarious.
So fun.
You know, we sang some karaoke. I got off the stage at one point and my husband's like looking at me weird and I was like, it was bad, wasn't it? I've just never heard you do that one before. He's like, that was an interesting choice. And I'm like, well, Kelly Clarkson covered Creep and I loved her version. So not the same when you're a couple drinks in. You have no vocal control at all.
Yeah, you think you sound great.
But my friend Nancy, she kills it every time.
Yeah,
I always
she's
say to
good.
her, I'm like, when are you going on American Idol? And she goes, Jackie, no one watches American Idol anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, they don't.
That used to be such a hit.
I know.
Oh my God. We would watch every season and we would be so into it. We'd be like voting for the number one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were the freaking days.
Yeah, that was a great show.
I mean, no one does watch it anymore. I'm surprised it's in the number of seasons it's in now.
I
don't
didn't
even know who the most
Yeah.
recent winner was.
Me either.
But yeah, that's where we're at. So thank you for the birthday wishes,
Yeah.
guys. Another trip around the sun. And, you know, I would love to hear from some of you guys. That would make my day tomorrow. So if you can send us an email or shout out on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you follow us.
Yeah. Give Jackie a birthday shout out tomorrow, February 10th. It's a
Make
big
my
day.
day.
February 10th.
Just no stalkers, please.
I love Aquarius, and Jackie is definitely going to be celebrating her Aquarius day tomorrow.
Yeah, we got some bad bitch energy.
Love Aquarius.
That's what we do. All right, girl. Let's get into it. We have so much to cover. But before we go and get moving, quick reminder, if you don't know, we are going to be at the Beyond the Crime Convention in Albuquerque, New Mexico, April 10th through 11th. We were asked to do a live podcast recording. We are so thrilled for this opportunity. And if anyone would like to come out to Albuquerque to support us and join in on the fun, we would love to see you there. We have been posting our discount ticket codes. It's on our Instagram. The code is Beyond Dash Stop
Uh-huh.
for a discount on your tickets. And you can go to beyondcrimeconvention.com to get those tickets. Gabby Petito's mom and stepmom are going to be there, as well as one of the defense attorneys for John Wayne Gacy. She's going to talk about her experience working with him during that trial. And yes, she knows he was guilty. We also want to remind you guys how much we would love for you to leave us a review on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, or on YouTube. Just a like or a comment or something that actually helps the algorithm, and that costs you nothing to do. And it's a great way to support us. So please, please, please do that if you can remember.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jackie.
All right.
All right. Well, let's get into it here. Our first story comes to us from Utah. Alleged best friend killer Megan Sundwell. There has been a big win for the defense. There was a hearing before she goes forward with the murder trial. So the defense has scored some big wins here. Megan Sundwell's defense successfully convinced a judge to keep some bad facts out of her murder trial while allowing some key evidence in. Megan Sundwell is charged with aggravated murder and obstruction of justice in the death of her friend, 38-year-old Casey Terry. Prosecutors say Terry died from an overdose of insulin, incorrectly believing that she had terminal cancer as a result of lies from Sundwell, who was a registered nurse. Sundwell's defense says that Terry committed suicide with the insulin. But
Wait, what?
they're best friends. And Megan Sundwell is a nurse, and her friend Casey has her believing she has terminal cancer.
What?
And I don't know if there was ever like any documents of Casey going to doctors or oncologists. I don't know if she was just getting advice from Megan because she was her best friend.
Maybe.
And-
Or she was reading some stuff that Casey was sending her and was like, no,
Yeah.
you've got cancer.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up.
And so I don't know if Megan supplied her with the insulin or advised her to take it.
Already diabetic? I don't.
Basically, Megan's defense is saying that Terry unalived herself on insulin, but the prosecution is saying that Megan convinced her to take this lethal dose, trying to tell her that she has this terminal cancer.
Yeah.
Lies on top of lies in this friendship gone wrong. So Thursday, there was a final pre-trial hearing just last week. Sundwell's trial is scheduled to begin next month in March. Judge Sean Peterson heard arguments from both prosecution and defense on evidence that could potentially be shown to the jury. So that's what this pre-trial was. Judge Peterson denied a prosecution motion seeking to prevent the defense from telling the jury that Casey Terry
Yeah.
was under investigation for theft at the time of her death. The prosecution wants to get that removed. Judge Peterson said the facts could be introduced as the motive for Terry to unalive herself. The defense is not allowed to use the information to suggest anything about the victim's character.
I see. Yeah, I mean, she could have unalived herself because she was afraid of getting caught for this theft.
Yeah. So basically the judge is saying we're not allowing that
Okay.
because that's defaming the victim's character.
Yeah. But it still is a motivating
Plausible.
factor.
Yeah.
to-
So the defense will not be allowed to tell the jury that Terry was selling or trafficking drugs as well, despite finding evidence in text message that she told a friend she was able to get insulin.
Mhm.
So the defense is not going to be allowed to tell the jury about this drug trafficking that Casey was doing either. Sundwell's attorney said evidence shows that Terry was selling opiates prescribed to her to purchase Xanax after doctor shopping. But the judge says no, the jury won't see it or hear about it. Very interesting. And I'm surprised the judge is barring this from court. This is a big win for the prosecution here.
Yeah, I mean, if I were on the defense, I would definitely want that to come in. because it shows that this woman had access to all these drugs. She was a dealer. She was afraid of being caught for theft. So that would be a reason for someone to unalive themselves, that they would rather do that than go to prison for something. So I'm shocked. I mean, it's not defamatory if it's true, right? I mean, I don't.
Yeah. So it's a lot of content here with the
Yeah.
text and the background. And it's
Mhm.
very interesting because this goes to show you what can kind of skew a jury's opinions if things are being left out or not. Like, what do they want you to see or not? I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, prosecutors wanted to introduce evidence that Sundwall committed time card fraud. That's Megan. And she was
Yeah.
fired from her job right before Casey's death. So, prosecutors want to show that Megan was fired right before Terry's
From her
death.
nursing job. Yeah.
Yep. They will be limited in telling the jury only that Sundwell lost her job suddenly without warning.
I feel like we need to know why she was fired. It's one thing to lose your job because you committed time card fraud versus maybe you injected a patient with something that was incorrect.
Yeah, this judge is very
I don't like this
strict
judge. I
here.
think this is not fair for Sundwall.
So basically, there's no theft or fraud charges pending against Megan Sundwall. The judge ruled that it would be more appropriate for the jury to hear only that Megan was terminated.
Yeah.
The jurors will receive instruction not to speculate the reason.
Oh, like they can't. How can you? This is what cracks me up about juror instructions, right? Yes, on paper, we would love for them not to speculate on why she got fired, but you know that immediately they're going to be like, well, was she fired because she did something inappropriate with a patient or messed up a medication and killed somebody? How do you not speculate on that?
Yeah, she lost her job right around the timing of Casey's death. I think that's kind of important to know why she lost her
Yeah.
job, especially being a nurse.
Yeah.
The jury also, in that matter of fact, won't see several text messages that Sundwell exchanged with her husband in the months and years leading up to Terry's death. By suggestive nature of some of the messages, one reading, I think Casey is going to outlive me and we're going to be stuck in our situation forever.
What's that
Judge
supposed to mean?
Peterson found the contents to be protected by marital privilege.
Okay.
We're going to be stuck in our situation forever. Okay, so you may be asking yourself, what on earth may have been the motive here for these
Hell yeah.
two-
What does
for
she mean
these-
by this situation? What
these
is
two
your
best
friend living?
friends? So, what on earth may be causing Megan to want Casey to die? Basically,
Yeah.
why would a friend want to lie to their best friend? Why would they want to make them believe they have a terminal illness? Well, Jackie, it's one of the top 3 reasons that we always say
Yeah.
life insurance money.
Oh, I wasn't
Prosecutors-
expecting that one. I was expecting like she was having an affair with her
cheating?
husband or
No,
something.
not
Yeah.
this time.
Ah,
Not
okay.
this time. No cheating. It is the life insurance money. Prosecutors say that Megan Sundwell believed she was the beneficiary of Casey's life insurance and actively
Wow.
helped her to take her own life, even offering to, quote, help and suggesting what medications to take to end her life, hence the insulin.
Wow, that's
So-
diabolical.
Yeah. So this is 2 best friends.
Yeah.
The one friend thinks, then there's not even confirmation, Jackie. She just thinks she's the beneficiary. So she's going to help her best friend take her own life and tell her what medicines to use to do it because you think you're getting life insurance money. That is just mind-blowing and really backstabbing, and it makes you,
Yeah.
question your friendships.
And the fact that she followed through on it. Like,
So, okay, you never thought there would be any kind of paper trail for any of this? Like that
they
it's
never think that. And I don't
No.
know why. Maybe she thought, well, Casey's going to inject this to herself willingly, bought the
Yeah.
medications.
Yeah.
I wasn't the one that put that in her body. I wasn't even there. So I think in her mind, she just thinks she can outsmart the legal system and that
And
she has no liability. Also, not to mention the fact that you're a freaking nurse.
yeah, that's the worst part because she has asked, but not for nothing, just to play devil's advocate. Like, do they really have evidence that if they don't have any messages of her saying, like, yeah, do it,
Right.
do it, do it, like that other case we talked about where the
Mhm.
girl tried to like, basically told her boyfriend that he
Yes,
should
that one. Yeah.
kill himself and
And he
she
did.
got
Yeah.
charged.
Yeah. Well, that's legal precedent. So I'm surprised this woman didn't hear about that case
I
and
know.
how groundbreaking that was, that someone urging someone to unalive themselves can still be held responsible for their death, even though you're not the one pulling the trigger or doing the deed. But like, you're contributing to it.
Oh, yeah. I
You have
mean,
culpability in that moment, in my opinion. And to me, it's like, Mom,
yes.
that to me is so diabolical. It like, this is pretty similar to what Megan
Yeah.
did. I
It's
mean,
really crossing boundaries.
yeah. I mean, as someone's friend, you're supposed to have their best interest in mind and to encourage them. And I believe that mother, Kendra, she also was telling her daughter to unalive herself. I got so mad. I'm like, what if your daughter actually followed through on that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point, Jackie. That's a very similar story. So I think that in this case, Megan was acting like Kendra
Yeah.
and trying to get her friend to unalive herself.
I know you're violating the trust that someone has in you as a friend, and then in that other situation as a mother.
Sick.
It's sick that
Yeah.
you're violating that trust that people have in you.
Mm-mm.
Ah,
Nope.
well, I'm curious to see how this plays out because I feel like the
It-
judge is making some weird calls here.
Yeah, I feel like this judge is like very
I
old
know.
fashioned and it's going to trial in March. So we'll definitely keep our eye on this one.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
Jackie.
moving along here. We're going to Columbus, Ohio. I don't know if you guys have been seeing on your social media or feeds about Hailey Buzbee, and I've been seeing it, and then I'm like, we gotta talk about this. So the FBI on Wednesday released a statement on the investigation into the death of missing Indiana teenager whose remains were found in southern Ohio. The remains of 17-year-old Hailey Buzbee, not to be confused with Melody and Ashley Buzzard. That was a different case that we covered back in January. Haley's remains were found on February 4th in Wayne National Forest in Perry County, Ohio, according to the Hocking County Sheriff's Office. Tyler Thomas, a 39-year-old man from Columbus, Ohio, was identified as a suspect in the case. The FBI office in Cincinnati says it has been actively involved in the investigation. Quote, "We are deeply saddened by the events and offer our sincere condolences to Haley's family. The investigation is being driven by the pursuit of justice for Hailey," the FBI says. Hailey was reported missing on January 6th. So her remains were found a month later. Fisher's police later identified Thomas as a suspect, saying investigators believe she left her home with him the previous night, so January 5th. Columbus Division of Police Sergeant Joe Albert said the detectives began assisting Fisher's police with finding Buzbee on January 16th. An affidavit filed in Franklin County Municipal Court says that Buzbee had been at Thomas's house on Hunter Avenue in North Columbus. Homicide detectives executed a search warrant at Thomas's home and on his electronic devices on January 1st. So they meet up January 5th. She's reported missing January 6th. Then they start doing a search of his electronic devices on January 21st, so maybe like 2 weeks after this meetup. And what they found was child sexual abuse material involving Hailey. Thomas was charged with pandering sexually oriented matter, including a minor and tampering with evidence. So keep in mind that's probably all they could charge him with at that time because they didn't have a body. According to Albert, the investigation confirmed Buzbee was also with Thomas at a short-term rental property in Hocking County, where detectives believe she was killed. Hocking County deputies and FBI crime scene investigators spent much of Monday searching the rental property for evidence. During the search, the Hocking County Sheriff's Office said forensic evidence was recovered, which may indicate that a crime did occur at the rental. The FBI says that since there are many locations and jurisdictions involved, as well as the nature of the investigation, there is no timeline for when more information will be released. Quote, we ask for continued patience as the investigators work to gather information, process evidence, and advance the case. The goal is to protect the integrity of the investigation and ensure a just outcome, the FBI says. Thomas's attorney, Sam Shemansky, said his client worked with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies to show them where he buried Busbee's remains. So he did lead them to her body. Shemansky added that Thomas will plead not guilty. Are you freaking kidding me?
I know.
Quote, if and when he's charged with a homicide in this matter. Okay, you know what? These freaking attorneys, man. Listen, I know you're getting paid, but you ride way too hard for your clients.
Yeah, so he led them to where the remains were, and she was traced at his house, but he's pleading not guilty. Like, okay, so
Are you? Did she just die through osmosis?
how are you going to explain where you know where the remains were?
Thomas does not currently face any charges related to Busbee's death. We will be keeping our eye on this because it's only a matter of time before he is charged. Let's just do a quick Google search and see if anything's changed since we...
Yeah.
Tyler, what was it? Tyler Thomas?
Yeah.
Let's just get the latest information. No, I don't see it. Okay, so there's an article. It says, FBI agent explains how suspect likely led law enforcement to Hailey's remains. What do you mean how he likely did?
Yeah, he's a suspect. It's
Wait.
just like the Anna Kepner thing get into. Like they must be just taking their time.
He's still not charged with murder. How is this okay? How is this possible? I know there's so many jurisdictions involved.
Yeah.
But like, is this guy on house arrest? What if he leaves the country?
I don't know. They
What?
must not have the hard evidence. Well, they couldn't. He obviously didn't confess, so they have no confession. He just said,
But
"Yeah, I
isn't
was
leading
with her."
leading them to a body a confession in of itself? Like, I would think.
I'd like to know how that works, sir. They're just like, "Okay, thank you for the information. Have a good afternoon."
You know what, Jenna? Why are we shocked? We've got Epstein people out here running the frickin' country.
I know,
And they have not been brought to justice. So, I guess we can wait another couple weeks to get the paperwork to
Yeah,
bring this guy
sure.
in. Right?
Yeah, and you know what? Let's not forget that they met through online gaming. So
Yeah.
she was 17 and a minor. So aren't they worried that he could be doing this and luring other young girls? So maybe they should, apprehend him, at least like put him in jail while they're holding, like, what are they waiting for? Another girl to go missing? He's probably doing the same thing. And
Well, we let Epstein out after 2008. He's just...
how many other girls
Whatever.
has he done this to? So yeah.
Yeah, how many more bodies are there?
That's what I thought. I was like, this doesn't seem like his first time, and he just so casually leads the police to the body. Like, I don't know. It just sounded
No.
like perhaps he had done this before.
He probably did. Oh my gosh. Poor Hailey. I feel bad for her family. They're probably seething right now. Like, why have you not brought this guy in?
And I
Why?
can only imagine that he probably lied and told her he was like 20. Because I can't imagine as a 17-year-old girl, you would agree to meet up with a 39-year-old man. He definitely lied. There's no way that's creepy as F.
All right. Well, we're going to keep an eye on this. This guy needs to be brought to justice ASAP.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on it.
But it seemed like the latest updates I saw on Google were from like a week ago. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we
They're
doing?
taking their sweet old time. That's what they're doing. In
Paperwork,
Ohio, they
paperwork. I
move,
guess
move slowly out there in Ohio, maybe. I don't know.
there's nothing like the East Coast. We move very quickly.
Yeah, we're very no patience. We have no patience.
We even drive fast.
Yeah.
We don't walk we don't walk slow. We don't drive slow. We get our shit done.
Move it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Jenna.
So-
what do you have on Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah. So we're going to give you our thoughts here on the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Unless you're living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard of this. It's been
Yeah.
all over the news, all over social media. By now, we have all heard of the kidnapping and ransom of Nancy Guthrie, mother to Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie. Just to do a brief recap, if you haven't heard, and good for you if we're busy this weekend and not paying attention to the news. She was last seen on Saturday, January 1st, after being dropped off from a party to her home in Arizona. She is 84 years old. She
Mhm.
lives alone in the Catalina Foothills community just north of Tucson, Arizona. She has 3 children, including Savannah, Annie, and Cameron. Savannah is the youngest. Nancy
Mhm.
Guthrie's husband, Charles, died in 1988. I did
Oh,
read how she was a single mother to these
yeah.
3 young children. She never remarried and devoted her life to the children. So I can
Wow.
only imagine how close knit of a family they are. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, whose department is leading the investigation, said that officials do not believe Guthrie simply wandered away from her home, but she was taken by force, which we did see. Just to do a little timeline here, around 9:48 p.m. on that Saturday, a family member dropped Nancy off at her home for the night. Several hours later at 1:47 a.m., Guthrie's doorbell camera disconnected. And about a half hour after that, the camera detected movement, but officials said they were unable to retrieve the footage. Minutes later, at 2:28 a.m., Guthrie's pacemaker disconnected from its app, which I find alarming.
I did hear that even though it disconnected from the app, it doesn't mean it stopped working.
Okay, so
So it's
maybe
still working, it's just not sending information to the app. So, like, if the pacemaker were to stop
yeah,
working, we're not gonna know that, but it
yeah.
still works without the app.
Do you think they
Yeah.
disconnected the app? Like, how did they
So they
do
can't
that?
trace her, that's why. I think there's a way
Yeah.
to probably trace her through the device.
Yes, yes.
So,
So
whoever did this knew about her
new.
pacemaker.
That's what I was just gonna say. Whoever did this, then clearly that was one of the first fucking things they did was
Yeah, they
disconnect
knew
it.
she had one,
Yeah.
and who would know that besides family members, close
Mhm.
family, or maybe somebody from her doctor's office, or whoever did this may have, like, hacked into her medical records even. The fact that they thought of that,
So
maybe
they
that's a really careful planned
and there was,
action.
buzz talking about was it Annie's husband? So was it yeah, that Savannah's brother-in-law. They're saying there was early talks about this and then everyone kind of like
Yeah.
retracted it. So
Yeah, there's no evidence to
no,
support.
there's
I think that's just a rumor that
yeah, it kind of was a rumor, but rumors start from something. So, I mean,
yeah.
did somebody leak something or what we don't know. But allegedly, Savannah's sister and husband's names were brought into this as having possibly, allegedly, something to do with it. But there's been absolutely no proof of that at all. It's
I mean, it's worth mentioning to Savannah's husband. He is a political consultant for the Democratic Party. He worked very closely with the Clintons and Al Gore. And then Savannah, she was one of the first people to interview Virginia Guthrie,
yep.
who was an Epstein victim. And then I saw something, she interviewed like a group of them at one time. She even interviewed Bill Gates and questioned him about his connection to Epstein. So I don't know if Savannah, maybe her husband, were what they were really trying to get at here.
Yeah, there's some and with the whole Epstein's thing going on
Yes.
right now as well, it's just too much of a coincidence, and I think that everybody out there is kind of thinking along the same lines that this seems to be too coincidental, like,
It really is.
just the timing of it all, and then so there was those blood droplets
Yes.
found
Blood
as well
droplets.
that very, not a large quantity of blood. I was surprised they released that footage. I'm su On Sunday afternoon, when Guthrie did not show up to church as expected, fellow parishioners alerted her family and the police were called, which that makes sense because it was Sunday morning around 11:30
Mhm.
a.m. So she didn't show up for church, and that alarmed everybody at the church, which then called her family.
And that was
Authorities
February 1st.
Yes.
So it's been over a week now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Authorities say that a security camera is missing from the front of Guthrie's home
Oh my
and
God.
that DNA testing confirmed that the blood splatter found on the front porch belonged to Guthrie.
This is
And
professional level, Jenna.
it was a few droplets. I mean, if they had shot her, I mean, like, I'm sorry to say this, but like, if they shot her or did some kind of harm, bodily harm,
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a lot more blood droplets than that. So I don't know. Also, she was 84 and she couldn't walk
Yeah.
that well. So they are saying that possibly they carried her out. But I would think they would have had to incapacitate her before they like took her
Yeah, I
out.
wonder if they hit her with
That's what
something
I was thinking.
just to kinda knock
Yeah.
her out, or
Yeah.
maybe she had a nosebleed. Sometimes older people get nosebleeds a lot.
True. Yeah.
Maybe just in scuffle or whatever
Yeah.
happened. No, Jenna, this is, like, reeks of a professional, well thought out and executed kidnapping. The fact that they turned
Yeah.
off the pacemaker and stole the security cameras.
Yeah, and this man, the doorbell camera, the one security
Yeah,
camera, the pacemaker. So the FBI did announce a $50,000 reward for information that's out there. And now there's also this talk of these ransom notes
yeah,
that was floating around. So like one ransom note came late last week. There was a 5 o'clock deadline. I think it was Thursday.
yeah.
And that deadline came and went. And then the next deadline for this ransom that these people are demanding is today, Monday the 9th at
Yeah.
5 p.m. And
And that
then,
was for, like, getting a transfer of money?
yeah,
Uh,
it was for money. And they were saying that the second deadline is a big one
yeah.
with the demands. So the note made mention of particular details, including an Apple Watch and the floodlight missing from the home. So whoever's writing it does know some things that were not released to the public. The
Mhm.
note's author also included the two deadlines, which we talked about, and authorities have not said whether the note included specific demands or consequences for not meeting the deadlines. And then officials declined to reveal further details of the letter. On Friday evening, the Pima County Sheriff's Department said in a statement on social media they're aware of a new message and we're actively inspecting the information. Officials determined that at least one ransom demand is fraudulent and they have arrested someone. But I don't think that's the main. I think
No, it's not.
that's
Yeah.
something.
That's someone taking advantage of that poor family. They're like, "Ooh, ooh, we can send them a ransom note and they'll
Yeah,
probably pay it
that's
because they
like a
don't know."
that's like
Yeah.
a one-off wild random dumbass person, like, trying to do something with this.
Dumb.
So now that person's arrested, and then Saturday night, February 7th, Savannah and her siblings posted a video to their social media begging for the mother's safe return, which I watched the video, and they do use some weird language, like, you
Mhm.
watched it too, Jackie. It said,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"This we want to celebrate with her."
I guess celebrate her return? That's how I
Yeah.
took it.
Yeah, and, I don't know, some of the language was definitely, like, but, I mean, what would you say? I don't know, I
I
mean,
don't
somebody probably
know.
wrote that for them, I don't think they wrote it for themselves, and so the latest that we heard as of yesterday, February 8th, teams were searching a septic tank on
Mhm.
Nancy's property.
So they're searching on Nancy's property in manholes and sewage tanks. I guess they figured, like, well, maybe they killed her and then dumped her close to the property, and
That's
this is
what I
all been a
thought.
big
Just
hoax, and she's
like
not. Yeah.
JonBenet Ramsey when there were this ransom note, and
Yeah.
then she was found in the
In
basement
the
of the
house.
home in the
So
home.
I can see why they were like, "Well, what if she just never left the property and we've got
Yeah,
these blood spatters?" Like, maybe that's why they looked.
yeah.
I mean, it's a good thought. I mean, what if you do all this searching and here she was there
Mhm.
the whole time? I mean, it's just awful to kidnap an 84-year-old woman who's defenseless.
Yeah.
It definitely tells me it's sending a message to the Guthries,
Mhm.
especially Savannah. Like, that's I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like they selected Nancy at random to
Mm-mm.
know about her pacemaker.
No, I definitely think that it's to send a message.
I wonder if Savannah I had a thought, and this is just me having a thought. I wonder if Savannah was working on something related to the Epstein files, or she was getting close
Yeah,
to something, or
yeah,
she's working on a story that we just don't know about yet
yeah.
publicly, and they're trying to keep her quiet.
And they and they're sending a message, "We will do this to your
Her mouth
like,
shut.
fall in line." Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't not mess around with that shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was working on a story behind the scenes and she was getting too close and this is what happened. Or again, because her husband is so well connected,
Yeah.
maybe he knows things.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll see what happens as
yeah.
we'll keep our eyes peeled as this 5 p.m. Deadline approaches later today, and
God.
we'll update you guys if anything else happens, or maybe we'll hear nothing after 5 o'clock. Maybe it'll be a big
I
nothing.
mean,
I don't know.
I don't know, Jenna. What are the odds you think she's still alive at this point? I mean, I don't
Not
have a
good.
good feeling.
Not good. I think she was killed immediately after she was taken.
And this is just for
Yeah.
dramatics, I guess.
Uh-huh. That's what I think. Yeah.
I feel so bad for them. I mean, I can't believe how terrifying that must be
It's
to have
horrible.
your poor mother just
Yeah.
removed from her home for no reason. All
Yeah.
right, guys. Well, we will keep you posted.
Mhm.
We do have some final low-hanging fruit, as we like to call it. I'm going to quickly run through. This is the part in our headline highlights where we recap former stories that we covered in headline highlights, just to let you know that we're still watching them.
Mhm.
So, big update in the Anna Kepner case. Her stepbrother has appeared in court for the first time. His name is Timothy Hudson. He's 16 years old. He appeared in federal court in Miami on Friday, February 6th, according to News 6 South Florida. Anna Kepner, if you remember, was 18 years old. She was found dead aboard a cruise ship under her bed on November 7th. Her stepbrother is 16 and was named as a suspect in late November. News says that the criminal docket shows a sealed case was on his agenda and that the case number has remained sealed Friday afternoon. So any charges he may face have not been publicly released.
But do you think they will be? They have to be eventually.
For all intents and purposes, he's been arrested. I don't know how this is going to work with him being a minor.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And if they try him as an adult or a minor, as we
Mhm.
learned from
Mhm.
Jamie Sylvanik, we were talking about this offline, but I'm willing to bet that it was probably him messing around. I can't imagine he would do something like that. But then again, he had this weird obsession with her. So,
Yeah, I think that depending how his defense wants to go with this, could be it was unintentional. It wasn't premeditated, is what I
yeah.
think. I mean, I don't think it was. I don't think it was premeditated.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, it kind of goes to what we talked about teenagers and
Mhm.
their frontal lobes not being fully developed and making decisions in the moment or acting impulsively. So I think
Yep.
I'll be curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Uh, just to give you a quick update on the Joshua Cannon case, that was the Wisconsin father that left his children in a burning house, and they all unfortunately perished. We have no new updates. He has not been charged as of today. As you can see, we are keeping a close eye on this one because his story just didn't add up. That he ran to the neighbor's house to get help and just happened to leave all of them in there. We'll keep you posted. And then we do have an update from David or D4VD. His friend Neil Langston, I think we updated you last time that he was extradited from Montana to testify in front of a grand jury in California on February 5th. What we do know is he spoke for about 30 to 40 minutes, and that's about all we know. So David is suspected of killing 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez as her body was found in the trunk of his Tesla back in September. So I feel like an arrest is just impending at this
Yeah.
point.
They are really going, they're giving this the whole works. Like they are crossing their T's and dotting their I's
Their
on
eyes.
this case. Yeah.
Absolutely. They're trying to do everything correctly because you only get one shot at arresting somebody, I would
Yep.
think. And then finally, Brianna Aguilera, the Texas A&M cheerleader that fell to her death. We talked about this a few headline highlights ago. There have been some updates in her case. So this was Tony Buzbee, the attorney in Houston, Texas, the well-known attorney. He took over the case for the parents of Brianna Aguilera, and they've decided that they are going to file a lawsuit, a $1 million lawsuit in Travis County against the Austin Blacks Rugby Club and the University of Texas Economics and Business Association, alleging wrongful death and gross negligence. The lawsuit alleges the organizations hosted the tailgate party where Aguilera was overserved alcohol along with other minors in violation of the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Code. Quote, "It is illegal to serve minors any amount of alcohol in the state of Texas. It is reckless and irresponsible to grossly overserve a group of minors at a University of Texas football tailgate to the point where those minors lose their physical faculties and abilities to control themselves," the lawsuit reads. The suit alleges that the egregious overserving of minors ultimately led to Aguilera's death, and that over several hours, witnesses described Brianna's behavior shifting from upbeat to disoriented and ultimately grossly intoxicated. The lawsuit also filed was to help support the investigation into what actually happened that night, offering new avenues for the law firm to access phone and text records, documents, and data, as well as compel witnesses to speak, said Tony Buzbee at the press conference. And the suit does request a jury trial. Wow. So
Wow.
Tony's taking a different approach here. He knows that you might not probably get far with the police department, but if we serve a civil lawsuit, they still have subpoena authority. So now they can get access to all these phone records
Wow.
of maybe the people that were there that night and see what really. In the same article, it does talk about how the neighbors in that apartment complex heard some weird noises. They heard loud noises coming from the apartment around 11 p.m. the night that Brianna had fallen to her death. She said around 12:30 a.m. she woke up to people yelling and arguing from that apartment, then heard the sound of a large group of people leaving the other apartment, and the music was turned off. A few minutes later, she began hearing a girl's voice arguing with other people and what sounded like multiple people in the apartment pacing back and forth from the door. Shortly after this, she said she and her mom heard loud screaming, Jenna, and they said it's the quote, kind of screaming someone makes when you accidentally drop something. Her father said he thought the argument was coming from their balcony. As he said, it sounded like the voices were coming from outside. And then eventually the loud noises and arguments, screaming stopped. I could still hear conversations going on in the apartment. And then she said that whoever was in that apartment immediately vacated her apartment after Aguilera's death. And the neighbor says this, quote, I do not believe the police were ever in the apartment during this investigation. My parents would have notified me. I would have known. That's how much I can hear footsteps and everything from my apartment. The walls are just so thin. So, yeah, those are really thin walls, by the way.
I wouldn't want to hear that all day.
I wouldn't want to live there. Yeah, so what struck me was it was the kind of scream you make when you accidentally drop something. So that tells me that was probably the moment Brianna fell. So yeah, I would want to know more. I want to know what this argument was about. Did she jump to her death on purpose? Was it an accident?
And who screamed? Who was there?
Yeah.
Because that's a witness.
Yeah. So hopefully Tony Buzbee can get access to all these records. And I mean, nowadays people text about everything and put it in writing. So I wonder what they'll come up with. And we'll keep our eyes on this one. All right. And then we have some big court trials coming this week. Corey Richards' jury selection tomorrow. And then we have on February 11th, on Wednesday, we have Alex Murdaugh. He's back. He's in court in front of the South Carolina Supreme Court for a pivotal hearing about appealing his murder conviction. His legal team argues he was denied a fair trial, citing alleged jury tampering, seeking a new trial. So oral arguments are scheduled for February 11th at 9:30 Eastern.
All right. We'll be tuning into that.
Yeah. All right, Jenny, we've reached the end and we know what time it is. If you've made it this far with us, we appreciate you.
It's that time, Florida man.
Yes. Let's get going.
Do you want me to look it up this time, Jackie? Or do you want...
Sure. I'll pick the date. How about that?
Let me share my screen. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. I'm thinking of a date. And the date is September 9th.
Okay. Florida man, September 9th. Here we go. Oh.
Puppy shoots Florida man. What?
Oh my God. I mean,
why did the puppy shoot him?
Should we do that one? That one's pretty crazy.
Fed up with what? Florida man fed up with potholes plants banana tree in the middle of the road?
Florida man arrested for stealing mail wearing only his underwear.
Oh my gosh, these are good. Oh, I can't.
Jackie, this is a good date.
Yeah.
Which one should we do?
Florida man twerks for officers during a traffic stop, gets tased.
Oh my God.
Florida man threatened neighbor, shook genitals. Shut up. This is a good one.
A man riding human-sized hamster wheel across the Atlantic Ocean. Oh my God.
Jenna, there's too many.
There's too many.
There's money. I don't think we've ever hit a treasure trove like this.
Wow. Jackpot. I mean, good job. Okay. Should we do the puppy? Should we do the
twerking one?
Yeah, let's do the twerking one.
Yeah, let's do the twerking one.
Okay.
Let's do this. Why
it
did he get tased? That's what I want to know. Yeah.
Okay. Florida man twerks for officers during traffic stop, gets tased, report says. Let's see. This is Citrus County, Florida. While most people would choose to cooperate with police during a traffic stop, some don't, and some get violent. But one Florida man got a little cheeky. There he is.
Oh, look at him.
Richard
He looks like
Wolf
he's like,
of
on the Megan's
Crystal
Law
River.
website.
Yeah, yeah. He looks dirty. Okay, he's 57 years old, got out of his SUV, bent over, put his hands on the wet floor, and began twerking for the Citrus County Sheriff's deputy in the pouring rain of Iverness on Tuesday.
He really thought that would get him out of his ticket?
A
somebody
bystander recorded it, and a video showing Wolf dancing for the officer in a median is circulating on the internet. What are you scared of? Wolf said to the police. I got knives. You got a gun. Wolf later took out a knife and threw it into the grass. There were several attempts to get Wolf to listen and stop. Yeah, the officer resorted to tasing him as he walked away. The dance, the tase, the arrest, all of it caught on camera. The suspect was charged with resisting an officer without violence, fleeing from law enforcement, and reckless driving, with a bond set at $3,500. According to the Chronicle, Wolf was originally pulled over for disrupting the flow of traffic by attempting to pass cars using grass medians. So that's why he was originally pulled over.
Okay, well, that deputy got more than he bargained for that day. I'm sure that was the highlight of his day. It looks like you might be able to click on the recorded word. I think that will take you to the actual recording. Go down.
Let's see. Okay.
It's in blue. Bystander recorded. Can you click that?
Yeah.
That might be it. Only in Florida.
I don't. Oh, here we go. There it is.
Oh my god.
There it is.
Oh my
Look at him go. It really was pouring rain. Oh, he's getting right in the guy's face.
He's just being a goofball. Like, what the? I mean, if I were the cop, I'd be like, is this guy intoxicated?
What?
He must have been.
Oh my god. And then I guess he gets tased because he's walking away.
Yeah, he's walking. Oh, he's getting on the ground.
What the? People are so weird.
There he goes. There he goes. He's down.
Well, I'm happy to see they used a taser.
Yeah, they got him down. They're getting him cuffed in the pouring rain.
Wow.
Yep. Well,
only in Florida. It's the gift that keeps on giving, guys.
We
tried Pennsylvania, didn't we not? And we couldn't find anything as juicy. It just was not the theme.
No, Florida just gives us the best, and that was a good one. I loved that video that we found too.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in to this week's headline highlights, and we will be back later in the week with a special Valentine's Day episode.
Yes, we will. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.